Introduce my fabulous staff. I know everybody thinks they have the best staff, but I truly have the best counselors and ITS in the building. I'm gonna let them introduce them. They did a cute PowerPoint, so they wanted to say their own names. But and then I'm smart enough to get out of the way of even smarter people, so I'm gonna let them. And I can't even pronounce it too. I did a digital citizenship. It's one of those things, but they did a great job. They've already presented once this week, so we're gonna let them go.
Hi, so I'm Jennifer Canavan. I'm the media specialist at Dave's Creek Elementary.
I'm Megan Horsley. I'm the Instructional Technology Specialist.
I'm Ashley Johnson.
And I'm Lindsay Albertson. We're the school counselors, and we're here to speak with you tonight about how we collaborate to implement digital citizenship at our school.
And Digital Citizenship is our county-wide initiative to help students be responsible online.
So this is our scope and sequence for the county that our district media specialist, Kristen Duschel, created, and it's for K through 12.
And in the elementary school, we really provide them the foundation to be a good digital citizenship. And we start that with the responsible use guidelines. And the responsible use guidelines are a set of 5 I will statements, and these are set forth by the district. This is what we push into classrooms at the beginning of the year, the 4 of us do. And we either do this together or we divide this up, and we go in and we teach them what it means to be a good digital citizen and to follow the guidelines. We also share with them the trust poster, and the trust poster is just reworded for the responsible use guidelines in kid-friendly language. And we always tell the students, and we give them a common message, and we tell them that at Dave's Creek we trust that they'll be responsible users of technology. So we want to show you the K-5 scope and sequence and just focus in on that. And want to show you where we start and where we end at the elementary school. So in kindergarten we start with going places safely. We talk about what websites are okay for them to visit. We also talk about online privacy and what personal and private information is, and the difference between what they should share and not share when they're online, how to talk safely to each other online. And then we also, in 5th grade, we cover their digital footprint. So we teach them what their digital footprint is and what it means to leave a positive digital footprint behind.
And as the media specialist, I teach the bottom 2 rows, which are creative credit and copyright and information literacy. And so we start with kindergarten, talking about usernames and passwords and what it means to keep your personal information private. Through 2nd grade, we talk about copyright and why that's important and what it means, all the way to 4th and 5th, where we talk about citing sources and how to find valid sources, and also what it means if certain medias are biased and why that's important to understand that. So the picture on the left is just showing a small group researching. So we teach the Foundation for Internet Safety, and I teach research skills. So up to this point, these kids have received lessons on how to cite sources and how to find valid sources, and I've also taught note-taking skills up to this point. So now they're in a small group collaborating to research and answer their research questions.
And the other picture is taking the responsible use guidelines and making a game out of it. So we like to do digital breakouts with the kids, try to make it a little fun, and it's where they have to solve a set of clues, and then they try to digitally break out, and they get a prize at the end.
So each year at the beginning of the year, we sit down and collaborate and decide who is going to teach which lesson. Sometimes we teach together, sometimes we teach separately, and we break it down. And we do this not just for time constraints, but also because we truly believe our lessons align, and we want kids to understand that feelings go along with technology, and you've got to be mindful of that. So that's why we do our lessons that way.
We also alter lessons to meet the needs of our school or of a particular grade level or classroom. For example, Ms. Horsley and I teach 2nd grade cyberbullying, and we've split that into 2 lessons. So the first lesson I go in and teach students about what bullying means, strategies, feelings associated with it, and then the second lesson is Ms. Horsley talking about cyberbullying specifically.
So we do make modifications year to year on the scope and sequence. You can see where Ms. Duschel makes edits to the lessons every year. And we also make modifications and add some lessons in as we see that we have a need for. So whether there's a popular platform that we need to speak to or something that we see that pops up at the school that we're addressing, we might supplement and make lessons along the way throughout the year.
And we also use Nearpod a lot to teach these lessons, and Common Sense Media is another great resource that we use that has a lot of good information. And some of the Nearpod lessons can be kind of long, so we can edit those though and take out what we don't want to use, and we can add things to that. And we keep our lessons to like 40-minute max, just so we keep the kids engaged. And then sign-ups, throughout the year we send out sign-up like invitations to the teachers, usually through Sign Up Genius or Google Sheets. And then that's how we make sure we get all the K-5, collaborate to get all the K-5 students taught these digital citizenship skills.
For people in our audience who may not understand what Nearpod is, could you just explain that a little bit, please?
So that's a website, I guess. We have it. That's county. Everyone in the county has access to it, and there are lessons built in there, and you can build your own lessons, and they're interactive. The kids can submit their answers on it, and it's kind of the whole class can see it, and it's kind of an instant.
It pushes out to their own device.
Yeah, so
Right.
they all have like their
iPad or
own
Chromebook.
way they can respond to.
Right. Thank you.
lessons.
And we mentioned a few times that we modify our lessons to meet our student needs. Specifically, a lesson that we do in 5th grade in the top right-hand corner, Ms. Forsyth and I teach this together, is the power of words. So we pick scenarios that our kids are really doing at that time. So it may be TikTok or group chat or Snapchat or whatever it is, and we play like a what would you do game. And so we ask the kids like in groups, like what would you do in this situation? And then we talk about what you should do in this situation. And it's a great reference throughout the year. Like if they're misusing technology, we can pull our little cards out. Remember we talked about this? So it's just a great talking point as well.
And you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's another activity we use with 1st grade, and we've used in some of our specialized instruction classrooms, a book called Chicken Clicking. And then there's a fun activity where they have a red, green, or yellow sign, and they hold that up according to the type of website that's described. Also in the top left, you'll see a question from one of our Kahoot games, which is an online game that students interact with as well on their device and answer the questions, and then they can instantly kind of see the answer. So we use that for responsible use.
And the center picture there is just showing some quick data. That's actually from Nearpod. So you can it's one way to get a quick snapshot of whether the students understood the lesson that you were teaching. So this particular one is from a 1st grade lesson I did teaching, websites if they're safe or not. So I can get instant notification about if they're understanding or not.
And another tool that we have, Ms. Duschel created a digital citizenship tools for families website. And this aligns exactly with all of the topics that we teach K-5. This is posted on our webpage. It's also posted on our It's Learning dashboard for our school.
And we just know students today are exposed to so many different kinds of media all the time, so we feel these digital citizenship skills are extremely important for them to become responsible users of information and technology, and we know parents are also an important part of keeping their kids safe online. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ashton said you guys presented recently. Where did you present?
At the elementary counselor meeting.
Okay.
And the parent advisory.
Okay, so you guys were part of that last week, and I apologize, I wasn't able to be there. So thank you for being part of that. It's such an important topic in our community because, as we all know, technology is such a powerful resource, but we have to make sure that our students use it appropriately. And part of that is making sure our parents understand what we are expecting our students and how they use it. So thank you very much for getting that information out there. Any questions for?
No, but I was one of the ones at the parent advisory committee, and you guys did a wonderful job. And it had a really good conversation at the end because of the way you guys facilitated and shared the story that you guys are doing at Dave's Creek. So thank you for that. They did a good job at the parents advisory
They're great
committee.
at collaborating too, so I think that's the biggest piece is that we're not doing it in isolation. Our teachers are all collaborating amongst each other and our kids. They're doing real life situations. There's issues that may pop up and they handle it that way, so they're awesome at that.
And I think when you start with kids small, like kindergarten, they don't they will be better because they've been taught to be better. Where a lot of times now the kids that are older didn't start at kindergarten, so they don't really know how to be better. And if you start them off when they first start with their computers and whatever correctly, I think it's so important. One of the most important things that we teach in school, I really do.
Well, we're trying to be very proactive instead of
Right.
reactive, and when kids make a mistake. So we're trying to get out in front of it so they truly understand. And the piece about the digital footprint is so critically important for kids to understand at an early age, for sure.
Well, that was one of my questions. I like that it's kind of age appropriate, what you taught at kindergarten versus say first or second grade. Do you still find though that kids are tech savvy and how to use it even maybe at kindergarten, but you have to still kind of back them up and start some basics that they might already kind of be ahead of you in some ways? Or are you catching them early enough?
I think
I think so,
I think we
yeah.
catch them early enough because it's as basic as, what are fun things for you to do and see on this website, and what happens if you accidentally get to a website. And that may have been something that has happened at home, but we're addressing it at school and telling them and go seek an adult, go back, close the browser. We're giving them, we give them the situation and solutions that they can use, not only at school, but also at home.
And another thing you mentioned that a lot of people don't think about is not everything you search is true. And so for students understanding what are legitimate research sites and how to identify those is just so critically important at a young age, as we all know. Any other?
That's good. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.